Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's Perfectly Twisted with Nicole Eggert and my friend here, Dave Palais.
How you
Well,
doing?
I'm doing better than you are because those of you who can't see, I'm looking at a guy who's got like a big black eye,
I do.
and
I, I have
are those
glasses on.
stitches? What's going on here, Dave? What happened to
Yeah.
you?
All right. So I was wearing the glasses, and I will wear the glasses because I think it kind of matches up, hides the black eye a little bit. You can see the. Well, I was bad this way. So the stitches up here. Actually, I super glued it because I was too lazy to go to the doctor, so I super glued it shut here into my eyebrow, and then underneath I ended up with a black eye. But yeah, it's a ridiculous story. It's not a cool story. Like someone said, say you were in a bar fight. Like I'm too old to be in bar fights. Like that's not even a good story, right? It's like, what's wrong with you?
Uh-huh.
You got anger problems? So we did the show last week, and then that night I go to sleep. And one thing is, since I was about 12 years old, I get cramps in my legs. Yeah, I think it was when I started growing.
Uh-huh.
I'm 6'3". I've been 6'3" since ninth grade. I just haven't. I grew at a fast rate and just kind of stopped growing. But ever since then, I get cramps in my calves and in my hamstrings, and I got to get out of bed, got to stretch it out, or drink water till they go away. Then I try and go back to sleep. So the night we do the show, we're done because my face didn't look like this last week. I get a cramp in my calf, my left calf, and I'm facing inward towards the bed, so my back's where you'd get out. And I'm like, man, that's a bad cramp. So I try and jump out of bed as fast as I can, and I just flip my body violently out of bed, and my feet never touch the ground, and I go head first right into the nightstand. And and I just was like,
God.
you could hear it was such a big, it was such a big bang. The dog just goes running right out of the room, freaked out, like, what the hell just happened? My wife's like, what happened? And I just go, hey, I'm on the floor. It didn't knock me out. I go, hey, get ice. And she's like, get ice. And I go, you got to get ice. I jacked up my head. And
It's always
so
the first thing, right? Get ice.
I don't
It's
think I've
always
ever said that in all the years I've been in a relationship to anybody that concerned me. When I coach baseball, it's like, get ice. Kid's
get
going to be
ice.
fine.
Yeah,
But
what you
this time
do.
I was like, get ice for me. And as she's going downstairs, I have my hands over my face and I can feel a ton of liquid. And I'm like, well, it's not water. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of blood. I can figure there's just a ton of blood that's all over running down my hands, down into my elbows.
Oh
And then
gosh.
I reach and grab one of those decorative pillows that you have on your bed that you don't sleep with, but you throw it to the side. And I
Yeah.
touched the pillow and I realized that's soaked too. And I'm like, oh my God, I bled all over this thing. I'm like, it must be a ton of blood for it to be that crazy. So I go downstairs. For some reason, I have white carpet. Didn't buy the house with a white carpet. I just said I'll change it out when the carpet's no good. So white carpet and blood's great. Go downstairs and there's so much blood that my wife's like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna pass out? Like, hold on. I need a little bit of help here. Go lay down then. Don't pass out. I can't deal with a passed out human being on the floor. And and then I'm like, all right, where am I bleeding from? Didn't realize it was two different spots on my face that was cut. So I don't know if you get migraines. I get them. A lot of people get them. I've had a million migraines. This was a migraine times 300. Getting hit in the head with all your body weight is brutal. So sitting there 2 hours, I'm like, I think I'm going to be okay. I'm trying to get the bleeding to stop. Then I go upstairs and it looks like a murder scene. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know how there's blood on the bed because I didn't happen on the bed. Throwing away the sheets, throw away 4 pillows, still can't get the carpet clean. And call my brother-in-law who's a emergency room doctor. I say, hey, what do you think? He goes, you probably should go to the hospital. You should
Yeah.
probably get it checked out. But because I'm lazy, I didn't go because I'm like, they're going to run a CAT scan and everything else and make sure my brain's okay. Long story short, I went to Target, grabbed some super glue, and I super glued it shut. And probably
Okay.
wasn't a smart move. But if you touch my forehead here, the healthy side, you can feel bone like you probably can.
Yeah.
If you
The other
touch
side's
here,
swollen.
no, it's indented. Like I think I chipped my
Oh.
skull. So I
Okay,
was
Dave, I
like,
think that you should get in the car right now and go to
it's too late.
the
We're past
doctor.
that point. We're past that point. My thing
I
is,
don't
what happens when it rains, Nicole? It's gonna puddle on my forehead every time if there's an indent there. I don't know what to say, but long story short, if you're looking at this, going, what the hell happened to that guy? Like, why does he look so bad? It's because I dove head first right into a nightstand, and yeah, crazy. It was
well,
not a good week.
okay, I'm sorry I laughed, but this is these are the
No,
things
it's
I
all
find
right. I
hilarious.
love the fact that you find humor in everything. I'm the same way. If you fall down the stairs, I hate to say it, I'm probably gonna laugh behind your back. I
Yes,
kinda
it's
find stuff
funny.
like that funny.
This
Yeah,
is funny, and you're okay. I just think
yeah,
that maybe, seeing a doctor is a good idea because they can sew it up nicely since it is your face. But,
yeah. I think it's
that's
too late though. I
o
think once you wait past the point of no return, I don't think you can sew it up. I do have a
I
jacked
don't
up
I
eyebrow. You're
it's your
you're an
face. I
actor.
don't think it's ever too late. I think that,
Okay.
I
I got
think that let's see how this heals, but I don't know there, Dave.
I got a
Scary.
acting question for you on this one though.
Okay.
Because when you act, it's not just saying the words. Like you got to show it your face and your body, everything else when you act. I've never even thought about acting, so I've never practiced anything in the mirror. But now my eyebrow like kind of curves up, and then
Uh-huh.
this one's straight. Like, so my
That
kid
might be
says
the
to me,
super glue.
"Yeah," he's like, "What's the deal? You look like The Rock trying to do that one eyebrow move," and I'm like, "Shit, I look like The Rock." Like but I can't like ever bounce back like the side eye look deal. Can you do your eyes like that?
Yeah,
Like,
I could
yeah,
do
you
one
just did it.
eyebrow. I can do
That's
one eyebrow.
impressive.
Yeah.
Now, acting, have you ever done that on purpose for a role? Like you hear something or you're supposed to question something that you go, I'm gonna use this eyebrow thing I got going. No?
No, I mean, I'm not saying I've never raised one eyebrow while I'm acting, but it's not something I've consciously said, "Oh, at this moment, I'll raise one eyebrow." No, I don't. I think The Rock and I have different,
You got cast for the same
we're
roles?
different. Yeah, we
Yeah.
react to different things. He did that while he was wrestling, right?
I wish I
Uh,
could do what you just did. That was impressive. Like if someone was telling me a story that I thought was bullshit, I wouldn't say anything. I would just raise one eyebrow just as they were talking and just go, "Would you just raise an eyebrow to me?" Like I would kind of I would think it was funny that I could play that game with someone's mind of just you're side on me with your eyebrow. Yeah.
well, I think you should maybe take the super glue out of your eyebrow. You don't want to stay like that forever.
I
Um,
think it will eventually come out. I hope. I don't know.
I don't know. I
It's
don't
a
know what
little
to tell
weird.
you. I'm a little speechless on that you just super glued it all together and didn't go to the doctor. I don't know what to say to that. Speaking of doctors, I'm glad you made me laugh because I'm grumpy. I haven't had coffee. I've had to fast because I'm going in for like all
Oh,
these scans today. And it's fine because I'm going in pretty early and I'm pretty used to I fast quite a bit. Especially since the cancer diagnosis, because it's so healthy for you. But yesterday it was like you can't eat any carbs, you can't have any sugar, you can't have any fruit,
oh
you
no.
can't have salt and pepper, you can't have any seasoning. I was like, what can I have? So I'm
Yeah.
really kind of living on just a salad that I had yesterday and
Can you
no
put
coffee
dressing on
this
it?
morning. Huh?
Can you put dressing on the salad? Or just you're just eating lettuce. What are you eating?
I used lemon
Okay.
and a little bit of olive oil because those were not on the no list. But yeah, so I have to go in and then they inject me with some shit. And it's weird because she's like, you can't be late. You have to be here because if you're even 15 minutes late, which I'm not normally late. So,
Yeah,
but
but
she's like
traffic, you never know. It's
you
LA.
never know. So yeah, that apparently the medication that I have to take before has an expiration,
Oh,
which I don't really understand. I guess I'm hoping it's gonna be a little bit more clear when I get there because of course, I've gone through all of these before and I've had to go an hour early and I've done this I don't know how many times, but never has somebody said to me that the medication is gonna expire, and I'm kinda going, "Well, don't open it till I get here."
yeah, I've never
Right?
heard that before either. Yeah, that's
I don't
bizarre.
yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out because clear, but I'll have plenty of time to ask questions while I'm waiting for the I have to take off all my jewelry. I don't know how this is gonna happen. I've got like 10 earrings in my ear. I don't know how I've got to
Oh
take it
yeah.
all off. But yeah, so that's how I'm spending my day. But did
How long
you
you
I
been fasting?
what?
I'm curious to know how long have you been going like without food? Like, are you
It was
starving
like
right now?
yesterday afternoon, and you have
Okay.
to drink a ton of water. It's that's okay for me. I'm okay with that. It's just the coffee that I'm like, well, I don't need my coffee.
Yeah.
Um, Not quite the same morning without it. So I was watching this, have you seen Alec Baldwin has a reality show?
Yeah. He just found out
The
yesterday. I didn't
the
know.
the Baldwins. So I
Yeah.
watched it, because I was curious. Obviously he's been cleared of charges and he's, trying to like live his life. But the wife is kind of a character too because she for a long time was pretending that she didn't really speak English very well.
Oh.
and that she was of Spanish descent, or she was from Spain or something like this. And then it turns out that she was like born and raised in Boston or something.
Who's she, Dorit? Where's all these different accents? Yeah.
It's something like that. And but everybody always calls her the cucumber lady because she was on a show and she goes, she was using her accent and she was saying like, what? How do you say in English cucumber? And it really came back to bite her because you speak perfect English.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to see like her take on all of it, but basically how she kind of covers that, makes excuses for that. It's, I think she really identifies with that side of her culture.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I don't get it when people just come up with accents and they're like, I'm just gonna have an accent. Like, how do you keep that up? That must be exhausting. It's just so weird. And so I just wanted to see how she talked.
Yeah.
through the
Oh,
whole
that's
thing.
funny.
So now I'm just focused on how does she talk. And the accent comes in and out, and they've got 7 kids. They've got 8 pets, and they live in an apartment in New York. Like, this is a hectic household. But I really feel for him. And then I see yesterday in the news, TMZ reported, a lot of people reported it, but I watched TMZ, and this guy, I guess he calls himself a comedian, dresses up as Trump. He does like a Trump impersonation. He catches Alec out on the street, and I think maybe this guy is a Trump supporter, and he's angry with Alec that Alec did all these Trump, skits, and he
Called
says,
acting.
like,
Yeah.
huh?
It's called acting. I mean, it's his job. He literally was
It's his
doing his
job.
job.
He's a comedian, and he's great. He's great at it. Come on, it was so
Yeah,
funny.
he was.
You have to love those things, even when whether you're a fan of somebody or not. Like, impersonations on Saturday Night Live are hilarious. Like, listen, everybody loves it. But anyways, this guy with his Trump impersonation says to Alex, "I'll pardon you for murder if you kiss my ring," in the Trump accent. I wish I could do it, but I don't know how to do it. And he goes on to say like, "Yeah, I'll let you go of cold-blooded murder. And she's down on me right now, and she's smiling that I'm coming after you." Like, this guy was like saying really hardcore things to Alec, and I'm going, oh my God. And Alec, you can hear him because his back is to the camera, but his voice is recorded, and he's saying, if that camera wasn't here, I would snap your neck. I
Yeah.
would fucking kill you if that camera wasn't here, something
Yeah.
like that, right? And I just thought, wow, what a way to keep his cool. And he's like, listen, my kids are right here in this building. Like, knock it off. And the guy just keeps going and going at him. And I thought, wow, that's really some self-control. I mean, you have to see it to see like how antagonizing this guy was. And then I saw the comedian, being interviewed by TMZ. And he says that the wife then came out and chased him down and was trying to grab the phone out of his hands. But the guy had a camera guy with him. And he's like, yeah, my
Yeah.
camera guy just didn't get that part. And I'm like, no, I'm thinking this part didn't happen.
Exactly.
And then he proceeds to say to TMZ, yeah, all I was thinking is I got gold. He's really trying to set up this guy. And I guess my whole point was like, I was just really feeling bad for Alec because, he didn't kill this woman on purpose. He really
No, it's
didn't.
not. Wasn't.
And,
No, it was not his intention at all.
it's not his intention whatsoever. He wasn't in charge of loading that gun. Okay, there's a big lesson to be learned here, is that you don't touch a gun without checking it all yourself, I guess, first. But when you're on set, it's like make-believe world. You trust these people. Everybody's doing their job. So I feel really bad for him. And I'm like, he went through the trials. He's trying to get back to life. And then you're like antagonizing him like this in the street. And, I just thought, wow, what a way to keep it together. But like, how hurtful. I don't know. It's just all very gross. And I doubt very highly that the woman who was killed their family would approve of any of this, because it was awful. Like that she, to presume that she would be smiling down that he was torturing Alec. Like, we don't know that. Like, I just, all of it is I don't know. It was really gross. I didn't know if you
It
caught any
was.
of
It was
that.
gross is the right word. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw the whole thing. The whole, going back to his situation is something that, you can't imagine. I mean, imagine, you take someone's life and it was an accident, and you're going, it's a horrible thing to be burdened with every single day that you get up knowing, there was an accident that happened. And as you said, there are people who get paid to load these fake guns, on
Yes.
set, and so whether it's the person who loaded the gun, whether it's the studio, whatever, it's, the ball was dropped, a human life was taken. And for Alec Baldwin to go through this is brutal. I give him credit for when I watched the video, and I would have felt the same way. And you would have felt the same way too, as far as, I'd snap your neck if the camera wasn't
Yeah.
rolling and you have some nerve. Uh, but Alec Baldwin, if I'm correct, used to be known for having a, hair trigger temper,
Yeah.
and he held it together. He
He
held
really
it
did.
together right there.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to
I
do.
mean, well, he lives with 7 young kids. I think he's
Yeah.
learned some patience. Yeah, and he's got some bad case of OCD. So, I think having all those kids and all those pets, I think it's helped him, to calm down. I just, yeah, I felt awful for him. And then another story I saw, I don't know if anybody else caught this. I was horrified. A plane was going from Australia to Italy. Okay. And a woman goes to the restroom. She comes out. She collapses. She's pronounced dead. They have 4 hours left on this flight. Okay. And they take the body, and I guess protocol is to put the body where there's the least amount of people. So
I don't mean to laugh, but that would be
I
next to
know.
me in the middle seat. I'd be stuck with the dead body in the middle seat 'cause nobody
Okay.
wants to sit in the middle seat.
So, yeah. So there's a man and a woman, a wife and a husband traveling, and they're sitting in separate rows. And I guess he was saying that there were 4 seats. They go to him, "Can you scoot over?" He says he gets up and he scoots over, and they put the body in his seat that he was
Oh,
sitting in.
wow.
So he's sitting next to this body. Now, for 4 hours, and they put a blanket over it, and they seatbelt it in. And I'm thinking, what if he has to go to the bathroom? Like, now
Yeah,
he's
no kidding.
stuck there. Like, can't they put it on the window side or something and then, like, tent it off and, like, let can you scoot
What about
over and then they plop a body?
that
I
closet where they hang all the suits? When people have a suit, they want you to hang it up,
seriously, I know. Is there anywhere else? Is there a floor room in the cockpit? I mean, let the pilots deal with this.
Yeah,
So
no
I'm just
kidding.
like, yeah, I
That jump seat. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
that seat that flops down. Yeah, tie 'em in like Weekend at
do
Bernie's. I
something.
agree.
So they
Yeah.
but no, can you scoot over? And then they plop him in his warm seat. And I just and there's a picture. Of course, he's taking pictures, and
Yeah.
it's him, the dead body, and then the cocktail cart going by.
Oh my
The
god.
cocktail cart is in the background, and I thought, oh my god, this has got to be this is like a flight. This would happen to me.
We
I just,
see,
what
I
would
would have
you
like taken
do?
my sunglasses and put them over the blanket, with doing the
Yeah.
pic if I'm going that route. I mean, holy
And all
cow,
I could
man.
think is, what if this body like started to like slump over? Like,
Oh yeah.
what's going on here? So,
Oh my
that was
goodness.
a wild flight.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. That's a
I
crazy flight.
God bless these people, and I hope that, they're not too traumatized. That's wild. Listen, there's these guys I wanna send a shout out to from, Fleischer Sport in Steamboat, Colorado. Never met them. Torre, he's a general manager of Fleischer Sport, and, a friend of mine happened to be in there or something, and, I don't know, I came up, and anyways, he sent me a really nice card,
Nice.
and yeah, I thought that that was just very sweet. Never met the person, and, so I just wanted to say thank you. It's always nice you know, to
Yeah.
receive support like that. It was just a
In
really
today's
sweet,
day and age where people
gesture.
just say horrible things all the time, that it's
Yes,
nice to have someone say something nice. Yeah.
yes, yeah, support a stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for the card. I really
That
enjoyed
is
it.
very nice. There you
Yeah,
go. That's great. It was funny. I was looking at social media this morning. It's one of the first things I do, which I probably shouldn't do when I wake up. I have a friend of mine who says she does not look at social media 2 hours before going to bed or 2 hours her first 2 hours awake in the morning. Like she
yeah.
make sure she's awake, she's alert, she knows there are going to be messages to her, but she tries not to keep her mind as clean as possible, sleep as well as possible. And it's funny. I woke up this morning. I mean, before I could even, as to grab the coffee, I'm sitting there looking at like 5 terrible stories, and you're going, I mean, it's complete poison. And in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, is it my fault for going to the trash basically every single day? Or to be easier just to kind of cut ties and say, hey, I'm only going to dedicate maybe an hour a day to looking at garbage, or stay away from it altogether. Like, have you made a concerted effort to stay away, or are you one of those where there might be something good on here that I have to see?
I don't wake up and go on social media. I do turn on the news, because I kind of like listen to the news and make my
Yeah,
coffee. It's like I want to know what's going on for the day, at least. Like anything could have happened while I was asleep.
yeah,
Okay, I need to make sure that the world is still operating. So I turn that on, but I don't do a lot of it before I go to bed either. And I'll check it during the day when I have like some downtime. It's enough to get through my emails and my text messages when I wake up, and just kind of get a grasp on what the world looks like today. And I don't believe in like polluting my mind with it all right away. And the other thing is though, you don't want to be clueless as to what's happening in the world. So there's like
yeah,
a balance that I try to find where I want to be updated. I want to hear stories, but like I can't get too deep into it because it can be, and that's not healthy. But I don't want to be one of those uninformed persons either, that you say
yeah.
something and they're like, huh, what happened? That's weird. I don't like that. But so if I could stop saying that would be great.
How
Do,
how often do
do we
you? I've done something a lot lately. I started blocking either sites or people, which I've never blocked anyone before in my life. And so, and not because I can't take it. It's never directed at me. It's one of those where I realize things aren't true. As soon as I realize what you're reporting is false and it's just clickbait stuff, I try
yeah.
and block everything I possibly can. And then you start to realize I'm doing this every day, like at least ten things a day to go. When you talk about watching the news, and not to say the news was always truthful, but back in the day when you and I grew up in Los Angeles, you knew that Channel 7, Channel 4, Channel 2, those news stories were all vetted stories. You get your source, you get the story, you have to sit there and you have to double, triple check before you can report it on TV. And
Yeah.
now anybody can be a person that throws the news at you, and a lot of times it can be just for their narrative. Do
Yeah.
you
And I don't, yeah.
Yeah,
And also it's like people are reporting news stories from their phones. You can tell
yeah,
by the typos. You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
they're not even spell checking, never mind fact checking.
Yeah, exactly right. Do you block? Do you find yourself
Yeah.
trying
Well,
to
I don't first of all, I don't really get my news from social media at all. Like
Yeah,
a no-go. But I do like a lot of times with people, if they are writing something ridiculous, there's a feature on Facebook where you can go to their page. You don't even have to unfriend them or block them. You can unfollow them so
yeah,
that their stuff is never in your feed anymore. And I find it's a more peaceful way
yeah,
to block out the noise. I go unfollow. I will block people that are hateful,
sure.
because, and especially like if they're racist or they're bashing women or human rights and the trans community, stuff like that, yeah, I will block it out. And it was interesting because this guy kind of attacked me on my page, and I turned him off from being able to comment anymore. And it was he was saying, oh, typical response from a washed up, B-list actress or something like that.
Wow.
And I wrote, "Oh, typical answer from a small dick energy guy," something like that. And, oh, it made him mad, so he started
Of
going
course.
crazy, so I thought, "Oh, shut up, it's my page," and I turned his
Exactly.
commenting off. Well, he went crazy, started inboxing me and saying, like, "You taking my amendment away. My first right amendment is not the first right, whatever the right is
Yeah.
that we're allowed free
First
speech."
Amendment.
Yeah, it is, right? The first, you're taking it away from me, and I was thinking, "It's my page, you putz, like,
Yeah.
F off." And it was interesting because as he's like going crazy in my inbox, I scroll up and I look, and he had asked me out. The very first message from this guy is from a long time, from months ago. And he says, "Would you go out to dinner with me?" And I had never seen it because it went to some other,
Yeah.
how it has different mailboxes. It
Yeah.
wasn't in my primary mailbox. I just got a kick out of it because this is how people behave on social media. One minute he wants to take me on a date, the next minute I'm some washed up, piece of shit. And this happens to me all the time. Or
Wow.
people will say something nasty and then they say, I didn't really mean it. I just wanted to get your attention. So I really, that's not what I'm there for on social media.
No.
I watch a lot. Me and my kids and my friends, we send a lot of funny videos.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you watch the video I sent you about how much radiation is going into your brain with those earpods?
Yeah. You depressed the hell out of me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just got to do a mom check on you, make sure you saw it.
No.
You've been
Nah.
warned.
Then yeah. It's probably
What'd you
why.
think of that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I don't know what to say. I do a lot of things. I think you're in my head about the deodorant thing. You're in my
Oh,
head about a lot of things that we talk
yeah.
about.
Well, they're real. It's real
Yeah,
things.
I know. I know. Well, you know what? I could sit there. Here's the deal. I could sit there and cut out the AirPods, and I could cut out the aluminum and the deodorant and everything else. And in the middle of the night, I might fall and hit my head into the goddamn nightstand and kill myself. And said, you know what?
All over.
Damn, I did it all for nothing.
I
I
know.
just don't know. I don't know. No,
Listen, I
you're
live
right.
by that too. I live by that too. People always ask me, how do you, remain happy and stay happy? And I say, like, I could be hit by a bus tomorrow. Do
Yeah.
you know how many accidents I avoid daily on the road driving? My
But you know what?
chances here,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things coming into play that could take my life away. So,
True.
yes,
No,
anything can
no, I
happen.
appreciate
We
I
have to live our
appreciate
lives.
the video. It was anytime that you find, like, for me, honestly, the AirPods are something I use on a regular basis, and I'm like, God dang it. I know she's right. Like, I know you're right. It's one of those things. I've seen pro athletes who have just a ton of money who still won't use them for that same reason, going, look,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. They can afford the greatest headphones in the world, wireless, and they same time are going, it's not just not worth it, and
No,
without your
it's not. It's
brain, it's a
dangerous.
lesson going to lose. Yeah.
It's dangerous. And what do
Now,
you have against wired ones? Why won't you wear the wired
you
ones?
know what? I get them caught all the time.
Oh,
Believe it or not.
you put them in your shirt. Dave, if you put
Yeah.
it down your hoodie,
Yeah.
and then it goes inside your shirt,
Yeah.
you're no longer like getting caught on it.
Yeah.
Just a little tip.
Yeah.
Just
I
a
got
tip.
it. Believe it or not, I literally got into a fist fight once over a wireless headphones. You know, Uh,
Uh,
real quick,
what?
real quick, long story. I'm at the gym. I'm on a treadmill. I had the wire ones, and I stretched my arms, not realizing my hand hit the wire, and it was a iPod at a time. It went shooting across and hit a guy like in the side of
Oh,
the face. He
oh,
thought I threw it at him, and I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to explain before, but yeah, he literally threw a punch at me, and next thing we're fighting over that. And I was like, God dang it! I would have thought the guy threw it at me too, but
yeah.
it completely looked like I took my iPod and threw it right into the guy's face, and
Well,
he was
for
super
what?
pissed.
Listen,
For
that's
why
all
would I
that's
do that?
happened to all of us, right? Like you
Yeah,
get it caught. But also I've had the wireless one fall out of my
yeah,
ear like as I was like
yeah.
crossing a street. So yeah, so tuck it if you tuck it into your shirt, it stops all of that. It's just um solutions here. Just little solutions, Dave. No more fist fights, no brain tumors,
Do you remember?
you know.
I
Meanwhile,
always,
I'm gonna go get in 2 big boxes of radiation or something that's gonna put all kinds of shit. I'm gonna inject
yeah,
stuff into my blood so that they can see everything in my body. But yes, these are the things that we do that we're exposed to that are so horrible. But so I don't want to do any more, especially having to go into these machines. So I don't know,
it's funny.
just a note.
I think about this is around the time where you were doing Charles in Charge, and I used to try and drag different people with me to go see your recordings because I was like, hey, I'm going to Charles in Charge Thursday, and I said, hey, you want to go? And then certain people would go, and then like, dude, I've been at like 3 of them. I'm not going anymore. So I had to find someone else in the school to go with me, to drag. But my buddy Rob was the one who I used to try and drag the most. Lived in the valley, and he had the Walkman. This is the 80s. Remember the
The
headphones over the
Walkman, of
top
course.
with the
Yeah.
with the
Home.
padding on the sides? Yeah, the
Yes.
foam. And I remember he goes to school and he's all impressed that he has this new Walkman and he has the foam on. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then he's bragging about his headphones. And the assignment in school was they handed out newspapers and we had to cut out current events. and
Yeah.
he literally took the scissors and went right through his wires. The day he just bragged to me about his new Walkman and his cool headphones, and as he said that, made me laugh. That was around the
Oh,
time I was dragging him to see you,
yeah.
that he cut right through him. And I
See,
was like,
should
there
have
you
had him
go.
tucked in his shirt.
There you go, Rob. Should have had it tucked in your shirt.
Yes, just a good note. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get my testing done. Send me all the good juju, all the good vibes.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and let's check back next week.
Good deal. Good luck.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.